And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the Grisha Cast.
Welcome to GrishaCast, episode 163. In this episode, we will be reviewing Hellbent chapters 36 through 38. This is your host, Eric.
And I'm Terry from Nashville, Tennessee. This is your podcast for all things Grishaverse.
A world created by Lee Bardugo. Moi Savienyi casters, I tripped over my line because I decided to try and be a little tricky up in here.
And you tricked
and
yourself.
I couldn't even get it out. That was boop.
You got yourself.
I did, but it's okay. So, we still have cities.
We do, even after that.
Even after that.
First is Bendigo, Australia.
Ah. Sounds beautiful. I've always wanted to go to Australia. Like, literally, like, I have mapped out places, like, trying to find... Anyways, that's a long story. I'll tell you a little bit later. But, and next, we're going to Al Fayum, Egypt.
Woo!
Which sounds gorgeous as well. But, the whole Australia thing, I don't know if we talked about this on the air, but when... You know, we were younger and the grunge movement, I was obsessed with Silverchair, and the lead singer was from Australia, and I literally found on a map the street that supposedly he lived on.
That sounds stalkerish.
It was. But I mean, I was like this little gay boy in Nashville, Tennessee. How was I going to get to Australia?
Yeah.
And yeah, no. But anyways,
For someone that hates the heat. You would not appreciate.
I would not.
No.
I would absolutely hate it. However, I do. I love that Disney movie, The Rescuers Down Under. And that's in Australia.
Yes. Down Under.
That was a cute movie.
It was.
I love the eagle.
I actually put in an application to the Australia Zoo. Back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. What is I know an albatross is a big bird, but is there something special about these albatross birds?
Where'd that come from?
Okay, I'll tell you. So, with my Lenormand cards I have been studying, the deck that I really love, there's a card, the very last card it's the cross, and it symbolizes burdens, but it's got this obviously religious undertone being a cross that I don't always feel like I like to use. And anyways, the deck that I have fallen in love with, their substitute for it is an albatross, but I haven't made the connection to why an albatross would be like a cross, that because it's a very heavy card.
So it says when you call someone albatross, it means they cause you great problems from which you cannot escape, or they prevent you from doing what you want to do.
Okay, so when you call someone an albatross.
Yeah, if you were in my way of I don't know, a new job, I could call you an albatross.
Okay, so it's not referring to the way the bird acts or anything like that. In other words, which is what I was thinking. So
yeah, I didn't know that was something you could call people that had meaning, but that's
interesting. Hey,
what Britannica.com says.
Come on, Britannica, learn something new every day. Well,
Yeah.
I've wondered that for actually. Probably what's really sad is about a year now.
Oh.
And I still just never looked it up. I was like, whatever, albatross. Yeah. I mean, it's a heavy bird.
Just accepted it.
Hey, well, now it makes sense. That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, Anyways, hi, listeners. Sorry we had a little breaky poo. Um, Honestly, Chris deserved it. It was his birthday last week, and we were going to be recording literally on his birthday.
Which
And
I feel like always happens for some reason.
it does, I think. And what's weird is we switch around our days of recording sometimes too.
Yeah.
But it always,
It seems like at least the past 2 years.
yeah. So we decided that, you know what, let's not do that. We just didn't. We let him, because even though you don't hear him often, he does so much for this show. Like, I mean, this wouldn't be happening without him.
Yeah.
Terry and I are just the heads and the voices.
Basically.
Like everything else is him.
We're strictly talent.
Yes. So he does so much work, and I didn't want him staying up late, and he doesn't all the time. But I mean,
Yeah.
like when Terry and I are done, and like we're like, yeah,
Then
it's
his real job is beginning.
yeah. Then he's like here just doing all the stuff, and goodness. So
Yeah.
Anyways, happy belated birthday to my husband. Hi. On the air, wanted to do it, and we're still celebrating. By the way, it was but yeah, he's not a big birthday person. Like, I think as we all get older, we're not really big birthday people, but it cracks me up because if you tell him happy birthday, he just says happy birthday back to you. Which makes no sense.
That's very Chris, though.
It is. But anyways, he got some great presents, and I was happy for him. So anyways, thank you, Christopher, for all the work you do, and we here at Grisha Cast just want to make sure we wish you a very happy birthday.
He's yelling thank you from the booth.
I know. Yeah. So,
I'm not hearing that part, but I heard a thank you. There he goes.
thank you. So can you stay on and let me ask you a question? Like, how was your birthday? Did you have a nice birthday? Can you stay it on? Can you? Yeah. Oh my God, he's not on the air yet. See, I sound crazy. Always. But
Okay, I'm on the show.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're
Welcome.
welcome.
So,
Happy birthday.
well, how was your birthday? Was it everything that you hoped for?
Yes, it was. I'm at an age where I don't like to celebrate my birthday, so I took it off of my Facebook so nobody at work knew, and I only asked for 2 things, and I got those 2 things, and that was it. Like it's another day.
I agree. I mean, as you get older, I mean, it really is just like, it's not like when we were younger.
Your priorities change. Like
Yeah.
all I wanted to do was just be with my family and relax and have a cup of coffee and sit, and I
Yes.
did.
That's awesome. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad you got everything that you wanted for your birthday. And it's true. Like, I mean, that really does happen because I mean, when you're younger, I just remember wanting these huge big parties. Like, I mean, I remember the very first party my parents planned for me was like this Disney, like it was in River Plantation, and like they rented out the clubhouse, and like I just remember being in some kind of like Mickey Mouse outfit. And I got pissed off that like somebody else got to dress up as Snow White. But and I didn't get to.
And I think too, when you have kids, like what excites you more is watching them have birthdays than
Yeah.
your own.
The cake is also great
And
then,
yeah, there's cake.
you know.
Oh, yes. Eric and his cakes.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about the other day is the Baskin Robbins cakes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Those are so good. I haven't had one of those in so long. Like that icing.
Over there in that shopping center where the mail, like where the post office is.
You're talking
and
old
then-
school Bellevue.
yes.
Yes. Oh.
Yes, that was a treat. And then before River Plantation was there, when they first started building, it was all dirt roads from like Harding over to that side. So we had a giant 4-wheel drive Bronco, and we would just go on this like crazy off-road adventure to go get an ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah, back in the day. And there was like next to Baskin Robbins, there was that long hallway that like went like deeper into a
yeah.
store, and it didn't match the rest of it, and so like all the kids would be running in that little area.
Yeah. It's still there.
Mhm.
And I love that one, like maybe I'm crazy, but like I still think like Baskin Robbins ice cream, like I haven't had it in forever, but like I love it. And like what did you always get the same thing or did you change up?
World class chocolate was a big one.
Okay.
And then occasionally mint chocolate chip. But I really enjoyed getting milkshakes and root beer floats. I think the most from
Wow.
there. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think I've ever gotten a milkshake or a root beer float from there.
I would get a
Um,
milkshake because they won't make a milkshake out of any other flavor. So I would always
Yeah.
get a milkshake of world class chocolate. Yeah.
Wow. So my favorite, for a while, I used to love the cones that they would already have prepared with the icing clown on it because they had icing on it, like in the freezer. But my absolute favorite, and to this day, is in a cup, never in a cone. A big scoop of chocolate fudge ice cream, which is not easy to find. I don't even think last time I went, and I don't even think they have it anymore. And then a scoop of, for some reason, blue raspberry sherbet.
Oh,
I didn't eat them. I didn't mix it together. I thought the colors were pretty. I loved the blue, and I loved but yeah, that was my favorite. I loved it. But
well, there you go.
chocolate fudge, they actually discontinued for a while. I was one of those people that wrote an email and they brought that back. But now I think it's gone again. And your dang world class chocolate, I think
It's still there.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, ice cream.
Riveting. Are you guys excited?
Yeah. What's your favorite ice cream? I
So
mean,
before we get too like deep in case this person is like, what the heck is happening? I want to say hi to Destiny, whom I just met on
Ooh.
the way over here. She is a massive Shadow and Bone fan.
What?
So I told her to give us a listen. So Destiny, welcome. And remember to email us at info@greasycast.com if you would like to come be a part of it and say hi.
Absolutely. Welcome, Destiny. Yeah. Episode 163.
Yeah.
I hope you make it.
Luckily, she's read all the books
Okay.
like already. So, yeah, I don't know if she's going to be in Hellbent, but hi, hello.
Yeah. Well, I love it. I'm so glad that we have.
She
there's-
made my day because she wanted to know more about it. So I was telling her about it. And she was like, I love your whole life. And that just touched me.
that touched me.
Yes.
I mean, that's sweet.
It was
I haven't-
sweet.
No one said anything nice like that to me in a while, and
It
like
was really nice.
they even said it to you, and I felt like really
Oh,
that's so sweet.
well, because this is a shared experience.
it is
so-
a shared experience.
So she would also love all your life.
Well, I love that we have. Yeah. Well,
It's fun. Like, I don't know if she's gonna go back to like the very beginning, but
yeah.
yeah, it's fun talking to new people and introducing them.
Absolutely. A nightmare of mine is actually going back and listening to the very first episode. Like, that would be horrifying.
I think everyone has that though. Like anybody that starts any sort of like content based entertainment, like when you start out, you just don't know.
You don't.
So, I think that's normal.
I hope so, because I really do just wonder how, like, I mean, it took a while for this, like, the gas to get going, and
Fine.
I felt like, I mean, you weren't even here for you didn't get here till the second book.
Yeah.
I mean, the last half of Shadow and Bone is me talking to Chris
Mm-hmm.
and him like, oh God, that'd be so funny to What were you doing? Nodding. Oh yeah, I'm sure that went really well over a podcast. um, and I was, me and my nervous anxiety at that point.
Mm-hmm.
God, at least where I am now, I'm like more comfortable. But could you imagine it then? Whew. God, the tripping over the words. I probably was a nervous wreck.
I remember.
Yeah. Well, and here we are, episode 163.
Just talking
Yes,
about stuff.
about stuff. And I forgot. I got to check on my turtle.
I'm going
Sorry.
to. I will also preface. I've already said something, but I will preface. I'm gonna try to like pick up my energy, but we had a graduation inside a facility yesterday, and those wipe me.
Aw.
It's a roller coaster of emotions,
Yeah.
and we had to set up and break down like ourselves. So we were there from like 5:30 in the morning until like 2. So with the physical labor and
Right.
the emotions, every graduation it takes me like 2 to 3 days afterwards to kind of feel the feels and get through. So I don't feel super heavy, but just in case my energy is not like there, just wanting to be open with you guys.
Girl, I got you. No worries. We got you.
I would like to be high energy.
I think you sound good and you sound fine. And usually those things are actually more in our head than anything. But
Like,
thank you for being open and honest.
Yeah. You
And
could just feel like the weight
Right.
of something.
yeah,
So yeah, it's the highest high and the lowest low that you could possibly feel in like my line of work. So it's a lot.
yes, I get that. I really do. My job I feel like is very similar with that because I mean, I feel like sometimes I am literally like like I'm doing my job at my window and everybody sits behind me. I feel like the entire like job is staring at me and listening to everything I say. And I just always try to help people. Like that is my job, which is everybody's job. Um, but I feel like sometimes I'm like trying to be really like talk quietly, like because I don't want people to like. I hit the mic. Hear them, like hear me helping them. I know that sounds weird, but I mean, like we're only like we're supposed to only help to a certain degree at my job, and it's all about like files and filing things. But when it comes down to like the fact that someone doesn't know the zip code by chance of this address and like I have the internet right there, I can easily type that in and be like, hey, by the way, the zip code's this.
Yeah.
Like I mean, oh my gosh, people would be like, you have to bring all the information. Like, I'm not supposed to do that. It's just, I hate that feeling. So did that make sense of the connection of how like, it's just, I understand that you can get really dragged down sometimes.
Well, it's like, so it's graduation. So for the first time in their incarcerated life, they're able to cover their blues with their regalia.
Right.
And they have a little more freedom that day. All of their friends and family are allowed to be in the gym with them. And you have to understand that some of these women have been in for decades.
Right.
And they only get visitation in the visitation room where there's no touching. You get a certain amount of time. They can't like introduce their friends that are also there with them, to their friends and family. And it's a very just kind of dry visit, and that's all they get.
Yeah.
But for graduation, it's this big ordeal. So some of their family come in that they have not seen at all, or they haven't seen for decades or whatever. And so it's just the highest high of like watching them, their joy and their pride, and seeing people in the audience be like, that's my mom, or that's my granny, or that's my like whatever. And everybody's crying and everybody's proud of them, and they get to give the speech, and they're so hopeful. And the we have a reception afterwards where they all get to mingle like everything is normal. They get to hug, they get to put their arms around each other, they get to hold hands, they get to do everything like you and I take for granted. They get to spend hours sharing a meal with each other and each other's friends and family. And it's
Wow.
just this like great community. And then the count comes and they have to take off their regalia, hand everything to their parents because they can't, well, to their family, because they can't take their diploma with them. They can't take their regalia with them.
Yeah.
And they go right back into this system of harm
Yeah.
after all of this joy. And you hear bawling, you hear crying, you hear kids say, no, mommy, don't go. You hear all of these things. And the women are left just standing there bawling their eyes out.
Yeah.
And they're not allowed to touch each other at this point either. So one woman was having this really, really hard time. And as we were leaving, I ran back to her and just embraced her and just like hugged her for what felt like forever. And she bawled her eyes out, and she's sad that like you can see the age of my mom's hands. She's getting older. Am I ever going to see her again? And you have to take that with you.
Yeah.
And it's
That's heavy.
I hate to say that it affects me and it bothers me or that it stays with me because I have no right. Like I don't like the audacity for like me to be affected by this when it's like, and I know it's vicarious trauma, but like whatever I'm feeling, I know that they're feeling 100-fold.
Absolutely.
So, but I have the chance to recover and move from that, whereas they don't. So I really try to like take those days to process, recover, and then be my more helpful self again. But it's really, really heavy.
Yeah.
Like it's the highest of the high and like the lowest of the low, and it's all in just a matter of like hours.
It's
And this is like the fourth or fifth time I've been through it, and it doesn't get any easier.
Right.
But it's heavy.
And it's not going to. And, I mean, and that's why I think you do so incredible at your job. And I think it's really important that for both of us, that we both still feel the way we feel and act the way we do and feel emotional about certain things that maybe other people don't. And I think that's important, and I think that's what's wonderful about you is like that's a beautiful thing that you see these people as who they are. They're individuals, and that's the most important thing. And we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
By saying, I mean, the only difference between the people that we work with is the fact that they got caught and we didn't, and that's true. But it also takes, from what I'm starting to realize, I think it takes a very special person to be able to not get sucked in, drink the Kool-Aid of your office that tells you, oh, they're just liars. Look at look at everything that they've done. Look how long they've been here. They've got all these court fines. They're never going to get better. Like, I could be like that. But I can't. Like, I mean, it's absolutely impossible. And people make fun of me at my job. They literally they do. They always say that like I'm just the one that like they're like I am, because I hate getting people arrested. I hate it. But I hope I never get to a point where I'm okay with that.
Right.
Like that's scary to me. That like they're like you just get numb to it. No. We need to get to Hellbent. But I'm very proud that still bothers me. And you know what? They can make fun of me all they want and laugh that I get emotional, and it's hard for me to tell someone that they're getting arrested, but it is because hey, I don't know. It just I don't ever want I don't want to ever get used to the fact that that's life-changing experiences, big, huge life-changing experiences that we are dealing with on a daily basis should never be taken lightly. And we hold the responsibility of making sure that they know the truth and what is going on and the support. And I'm glad I can see the feeling and empathy behind it. Okay, so anyways, well, that was a Debbie Downer moment. Sorry, y'all. However, I am wearing my bunny ears for this special episode because I got horrified that apparently the devil is babbity rabbity rabbit hub up bup buddy boop boop.
Bibbity boppity boo.
Yes, that. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's wearing just so much goes on in these episodes, these chapters. And so I didn't read 36 like I was supposed to last week, or the week before that we
Mhm.
covered. But I feel like so much is going on in that chapter that like I kind of like feel like I get a little confused. It's pretty much like just a reminder. It's when Alex and Anselm like are falling. Like I mean, it's just like the ballroom floor has fallen through the roof, and like pretty much the poop hits the fan. Like I mean, I don't know a better way to explain it. You've got Darlington there, Anselm screaming at him, like that's Darlington in that form, and like it's so weird. Have you listened to any of this audiobook?
No.
Oh my god, okay. Anyways. But so Michael Anselm's there, and like I mean, so he's he wants Alex to kill Darlington?
Yes.
Okay. And what is his exact reasoning?
Because he's a demon. Because the way he looks, he's a
'Cause he
he's a
looks like
big, monstrous demon.
Okay. And actually, at this point, also, we do kind of think that maybe Darlington could have as well, because we don't really know. Darlington does have the huge claws.
The horn. All
Yes.
that.
And we are making these weird little connections to where it seems like this puzzle has kind of connected to Darlington. But all of a sudden, Anselm trips up. And I think it was like a pretty stupid slip up that he made, because I'm proud of myself. I actually caught this one. When he's yelling at her to kill Darlington, he at some point says Stern. And he calls her Stern.
Thanks, Stern.
Yeah. And that like I like the way that she wrote that too, because like it was just like I caught it that way the very first time I read it too. I know. That's smart. But that was a huge giveaway. Like something's up. Like that sounded like Darlington. Darlington is the only one that we have ever heard call Alex Stern. Like, I mean, that's what he always like, it's just
I don't know if he's the only one that she says it was Darlington who called her Stern. I don't know if he's the only one. It sounds like it, but yeah, Anselm has always said Alex.
Right. I think everybody else has said like Miss Stern or something like that, but he his is like very specific.
Yeah.
It's Stern. And anyways, this is where I definitely get a little lost.
So when Alex had this flashback is happening like very quickly, but the Anselm that Alex had lunch with at Shell and Bone.
Yes. The crab shack.
If we go back and remember that, where she was like, he's reminding me of Darlington. He's very different. Some of the things he's saying, the research
happy.
and like and then he asks her questions about her mom, like, does she embarrass you? And like, which was weird to her at the time, but she thought that he was just happy and having a good time. But
And she was also, I think, trying to like, didn't she go to that like meal like kind of worried about like, I feel like there was something she was worried about going to like eat with him, so like her mind was kind of like thinking about other things. So
distracted, maybe?
yeah, distracted. That's the word.
I think I can't. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but so she. I mean, you have to imagine we're in this battle of like she has already like thrown her snakes at Darlington, and Anselm is like, freaking kill him. Thanks, Stern, and that sends her on this whole journey that happened. Like I said, it happened so
It
quickly
does.
that she's like, no, hold on a second. He doesn't call me Stern. All the weird things that was happening at that lunch. He seemed to like have forgotten everything from when he was going to kick her out. And she makes this quick decision in the middle of all this chaos that's going on that Anselm is actually Darlington's demon. And he, just like
Okay.
not Helly, was trying to feed off of Alex by saying thanks to her to make her feel sad and despair. He was trying to do that with her at lunch to feed off of her. And that's why he was such in a good mood, because it was like a high for him to like be getting all of this like stuff from her. So she actually makes this.
Okay.
And that he was the one that killed Darlington's parents.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
So everybody has a demon, apparently. So
That came out of hell attached to them. Yes.
Okay, so when they came out of hell, they also had a twin
Mm-hmm.
that happened to be a demon. That okay. When did so when did Darlington's demon come out? I guess that's where I'm just like, Darlington's demon. Darlington's been in hell. I guess maybe that's probably the plot of the story. Like, I guess it snuck out at some point.
It came with all the rest of the demons when they went.
It came out with all them.
Yes.
Okay.
Just like not Helly, not Spencer, not all those demons. It came up at that
Came
time
along.
when they opened the gateway.
Okay. He just decided, you know what? I'm just going to go along with him.
And so the demon actually shelled out Anselm, like the real Anselm.
Right.
And that's the husk that's at the bottom
Ugh.
of the basement, which is such a weird like visual to say husk of a person.
It is.
And then and so then that demon had taken on Anselm's body, vision, the way he looks.
Yeah.
And if to me, like in the middle of all of this, to make that quick decision and realize this is amazing.
Right.
Because like
it's kind of
as
a lot.
everything's happening. But the second she calls him out, he admits it. He's like, yeah. And it was fun. It was a puzzle.
Yes. And I think, to be honest, like, I think it's just because, like, I mean, I'm not surprised by it. He's a demon. At this point, it looks like, he's won. I mean, he's killed one. I mean, like, we've got the only person down there that's alive, literally, is Alex. Because, like, we've got the Greys, we've got Darlington's
Anselm killed those two professors that
Yep.
Turner was researching their death.
Yep.
He
did that.
killed them, but he didn't husk them out because he needed them to still
Husk him out.
Yes.
I like that.
So he didn't want to take on their form, so he didn't kill them.
Right.
He was just like
Picky.
what do I want to say? An emotion vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a certain look he wanted to go for.
Well, he could get farther with somebody that is connected to them.
Correct.
And so he's been feeding off of Darlington, which is why he was so much like Darlington at that lunch. But he says, yeah, it was a puzzle. It's just a good game. Just like, it was fun for me.
He's also trying to get, like, he does have an end game. He, like, Darlington, his, like, half soul or whatever that's in that circle.
Yeah.
He needs that. He's been trying to get that released somehow. And apparently, like, when he was going to try to figure that out is when Darlington's parents showed up and he, like, turned them into, yeah, it is weird thinking
And
of a husk. Sorry.
And we hear from Darlington a little later on that this isn't just your normal run-of-the-mill demon. He's like a master demon, and he actually has like a name
Yes.
that sounds like Gargamel from
Oh, yes.
the Smurfs.
Golgorot.
Yeah, it sounds like Gargoyle or Gargamel from the Smurfs. That was the first thing I thought. But so yeah, he's not just a regular apprentice demon. He
got a name.
He's big time.
He's big.
He's the big time. But so Darlington he's like just laying around because he's tired. And,
I mean, I would be too.
And he keeps saying like, Stern, the box. And she knows that she needs to go get the rest of him. And so she's trying to figure out how to do that, because to like get everybody together and do the whole thing, whatever. And he's like, dude, you're a wheel walker.
Right.
Just freaking go through the door. And then again, we've got a very quick thinking of her.
Yes, this is
again, like every paragraph right now is a big thing. But she realizes all the things that he's like told her, like, as you like, Will Walker, you choose the steps in this dance. She realizes that she can make the portal. Like, she can walk through at any time. All worlds are open to us was something else that he said.
Right.
So, like, all of these things that have happened since the beginning that he has said and that he has told her when we talk about they like puzzles, he was giving her
all
these riddles.
Yes.
And now it's all coming together to make sense. So she is able to just walk through
Yep.
to where Darlington's soul is placing rocks.
Yeah.
And then this is where your rabbit.
Yeah. This is just so weird. It's just like, I mean, like, yeah, she sees Darlington. Darlington looks horrified, by the way, and then she gets hit.
Mm-hmm.
And when she looks up or whatever, it's a 6-foot rabbit in Anselm's suit.
Yes.
That is horrifying to me.
It's so weird. So he's not like the devil. He's like...
He's Golgorot.
Yes.
But still,
I feel like that's like right up there with the devil.
Oh, I think
like
so.
He's one of the minions.
Okay, so like I tried to look up Golgorot, and like by the way, like I mean that word, like that's kind of like a spoof off of another like name. There's something close that's called Goroth, which it's the symbol of fear and hunger, which makes sense. This in Google says, which god to pray to fear and hunger? In general, it is recommended to perform the sacrifice in the inner hall and pray to all Murat, the first rituals. Okay, I'm about to
Okay.
oh wait, I need to stop. I'm about to start a ritual here. And
read the internet. But so in this attack, which is terrifying, the box gets broken. It's a ceramic box. And so it falls and it shatters.
She cries.
So then there's like a whole like, well, now what? Like, how in the heck am I supposed to do this now? And she gets this idea of like, hey, come with me. So she like sucks him up like a gray. But the difference is he's not a gray.
Exactly.
So the the soul eater from the first book.
It's her for
She is now experiencing
what she felt.
yes, and she explains it as like this massive high. It's totally different than the Greys. She tastes honey.
Yeah, she
Like she's feeling good. Like
She
she
f-
popped a bunch of Valiums. Like she is feeling great. She said all pain is gone. There's like glimmer in her brain, and she
but it's brilliant.
carries him through back to reality, back to their world.
Reality. Yeah. But
So like
it's crazy because all this
we're
is
talking
happening
about 4 pages.
right. So but it literally is the only way that Darlington could have been saved. Because
Yes.
otherwise he would have stayed in hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I love so the one thing that I think that I'm interested in learning more about that we keep on this wheel walker. We learn she's a wheel walker. We get it. That other lady was a wheel walker and she was horrible and so now we know that wheel walkers have doors to everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But still there's not a lot of info we have about this. Like we still are like being like it's just they're just not giving us a lot. And it's to the point where it's actually kind of annoying me a little bit because it's just like I don't want it to get so disconnected that it doesn't make sense. I want to make like you understand what I'm saying? Like I hope it really like makes sense this wheel
Well,
walk.
now that she's actually used her wheel walker, I don't know powers, but like what she's made for, I feel like we'll get that more now.
Yeah, she's got
But so because the rest of Darlington has come back, his demon form kind of dissipates and he looks like Darlington again.
And- but don't forget he also does kill the like shatters the whatever the Golgoroth.
Yes.
Yeah. And this happens to be, I think, my favorite. Like, this is why I asked if you listen to the audio, because this is probably one of my favorite lines I've heard so far, is the very end of this chapter.
I have it.
I should let you.
Page 383,
Yes.
starting with
It's amazing.
Darlington question mark.
Yes.
Where he looks normal again. Anselm they did like shatter Golgoroth.
Yep.
And so Darlington's just standing there like a normal person now, and she says, "Darlington, where are you going?" And he says, "To get some clothes, Stern," he said, climbing the steps and leaving bloody footprints behind. A man can spend only so much time without trousers on before he begins to feel like a deviant.
Okay.
And then the last line of that chapter is the gentleman of Lethe has returned.
Amazing line. Like, if like I wish I would have prepared where I could have played when she reads a man can spend only so much time without trousers on before he begins to feel like it is amazing. Like she does such a good job. What I think is really cool is the way, like, I mean, one, the way it's written, one, the way she's reading it. We finally, like, I mean, there's Darlington. Like, I mean, it's actually Darlington in real time. It's just like it changes so much. And the next chapter is actually our very first time through Darlington's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually is read by a guy.
Cool.
And Darlington is, he's been in hell. He has had some, I think it's interesting the way he describes how he's been a slave, but yet he's been the slave master. He also is feeling a little something about the way he's looking and feeling towards Alex. Like he definitely wants to get some, but he's exhausted. But he wants to get some.
I didn't like make a bunch of notes for this chapter because this was just kind of like
oh yeah, this was
him just coming back into the real world. So there's not a lot that's like super important in this chapter. What I find the most interesting, because I can relate, is she doesn't make this big deal about him being there. she just grabs some cereal and she starts eating, and like he's standing there like, hey, and she's like, hey. And she's not like hugging and crying and making the big deal out of it. And but then when they find
Dawes.
Dawes, she makes the big ordeal of like she's emotional and she's hugging him, and Alex kind of thinks to herself like, I should have been that way. I should have felt the same way that Dawes does. I should have shown him those things, but it's just not in her to do that. And that was a connection moment for me because like I feel the same way. Like in those big
Yeah.
moments where you should have these grand feelings, I typically don't. So this made her more real to me.
Yeah.
That she didn't like portray emotions that would be outside of her character, which I appreciated. I appreciated that she
Yeah.
wasn't given at this moment like this uncharacteristic huge
Right.
welcome.
I think also that Alex, I think part of it, she has been searching for Darlington since we've started this book. Since we started the series. And out of everything that they've gone through, which is a lot, and then all of a sudden for him to like finally be there, and I feel the sense that their relationship has grown without them being while he's been in hell. I know that sounds weird. Like, I feel like she has thought more about the different things that he has said to her, the things that he has learned from her. Like both of them, that like they've just kind of were in different places. And she also, that was a crazy, like, I don't want to call it a battle scene, but that was some crazy action that like they went through. And I think she's shell shocked, but I agree. She didn't do she isn't going to be like Dawes. Because we have talked about how we know Dawes has obviously had like a huge crush on Darlington.
Probably, yeah.
And it's just kind of everybody is shipping Alex and Darlington, though. Everybody, seems to be what people want. I think.
Well, in the book, that's
what it's going.
That's where it's headed.
Right, exactly.
But I think if it were normal fiction, like a normal TV show, a normal book,
Yeah.
I say normal because this book is extraordinary. It isn't ordinary, that they would have had the female character be that whole hugging and like sweeping off her feet and giving the big kiss and be like, oh my gosh. But
thank God not.
Lee kept Alex to her character. And I also think because Darlington brings it up that he still has the memory of Alex just standing there not doing anything. And I think she carries some of that guilt too. And so I think on top of her not showing big emotions, she's also has this like, does he forgive me? I feel like
There's
that's part of it too. But I just wanted to say like that I just appreciated that she didn't
I love that.
do that silly,
the fake stuff.
uncharacteristic. Yeah.
Yeah, the fake stuff that I feel like sometimes when you're reading a book, this is an adult book, but especially in YA, sometimes authors I feel like it has to be written that way or something. Like you got to make sure the character does this.
You got to make the audience happy. So
Right.
once the big man comes back, then the
No.
girl needs to
No.
fawn all over him and they need to kiss and make out and live happily ever
No.
after. But this feels more human to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. I do love that they bring up the fact that his Jaguar is gone. For some reason I found that he doesn't know anything that's gone
His
on.
Mercedes.
His Mercedes, is that what it was?
Mhm.
You know me, I don't know cars. I know it's got 4 wheels. But Darlington is trying to get all caught up here, and believe me, it is a lot to get caught up on. But pretty much, what do you know? They got to go back to hell. Surprise.
Yeah,
I mean, and
because they have to take the demons back.
exactly.
Because those demons can become vampires.
But we've got one other little thing. Trip ain't checked in a while.
Yeah, Trip is absolutely missing.
But it's only been a couple hours, which to me, I wouldn't be freaking out yet. But
I would be. Like, with all these demons around and you know what they're capable of, like, one is now turned into Alex's grandmother.
Right, that was really
Who's
good.
feeding you, mija? So
That's
it is scary that Trip is missing. He's not answering his phone. And at this moment in time, they're thinking that they need to just go by his place
right.
to check on him, make sure that, like, the demons haven't, like, gotten to him.
And another important thing is we need Trip because
Yes.
if you're going back to hell, we need to have your other murderer.
But Darlington said that he would take Trip's place if he had to, and everybody's like, nope,
Or
We
Alex
can't-
said,
we can't
I'll
do
go by
that."
myself. And they're
Yeah.
like, no.
that doesn't work either.
They did, it's the very end. They bring up this this book that apparently is an actual book that really is at Yale in the Beinecke. The Voynich.
Or Voynich, either one.
That is, I'm not even going to pretend to know, but supposedly this book can tell you how to trap demons.
Yes.
I looked at images of what this book looks like, and I'm sorry, but it's colorful. It looks like a coloring, but I'm like, how is it? Like, really? Am I looking at the right thing?
Yeah.
It's got colors. Pastels. We're talking greens. And
This is one of those moments where it's like, if you know, and if you don't, then you don't moments, because they talk about the Voynich manuscript
yes,
that was made to trap demons, but then, like, literally the next sentence, they're like, well, what about Pierre the Weaver? And you're just like, God, hold on a second.
who?
Like, you got to give me a moment to, like, figure out who these people are or who these things are. So it says the Weaver was acquired by manuscript. And it was a series of cult leaders and false gurus to lure followers. And Pierre was the last with the name struck, blah, blah, blah. So, like, basically he's the one that, like,
Learned how to trap them.
learned how to trap them.
Hey, girl, it works for me. You know what? We're at that part of the book where, like, I know I wasn't disappointed when I finished this, but we also were, like, consistently reading it. So, like, right now, it's just a little confusing, but it's gonna make sense because I know I liked it. I can't, but yeah, I forgot about Pierre.
Yes.
My God, that was
It's this moment in time where we're given, like, thing after thing after thing, and
so
it's like
many different things.
But so they also talk about, like, we also have bodies everywhere.
Right.
And so, like, Darlington shows up, like, he's back from Spain, but now we have bodies just laying around everywhere. So that kind of has to be taken care of.
We have people missing. That we've got to also, like, kind of. There's a lot going on.
And they're also concerned that Alex is now able to have the blue flame in their reality outside of hell.
I don't understand why that's a problem. I think that looks cool. I would rock it.
It's concerning because, like, it was something that was only in that realm.
Right.
And now she's...
Doesn't Darlington have something too? Darlington also, like, there's something about him. Like, I feel like there's something.
Was it his strength?
There's something that.
Because he hulks out.
Oh.
Darlington smash.
Oh my God, I could see that. I can totally get on top of that.
Isn't that what happened? Like, he got mad.
Oh my
I think was it Alex's demon? It was the grandma, and Darlington was like, "Get out of here!" and was like,
I'm for
Darlington
it.
smash. So that's I I think that's what he has, maybe.
Sure. Girl, I'm all for it. Darlington, he has his horn still, I think. Is that...
I think.
You know what? We don't know. We
No,
just
from-
read it, but we'll figure it out later.
From my understanding, the horns are there, but they're less pronounced.
They're like little goats.
Yeah.
But they're like
Or
this
little
big.
nubs, or like
Little nubs, yeah.
And then didn't they like come out more when he got angry?
Yes, that's exactly. They just kind of erect out when they get when he gets angry. Little nubs get a little bit bigger.
You don't want to see me angry.
No, you don't. You don't want to see how big these nubs can get.
Oh boy.
Okay, so that has been that actually was a really good discussion, because I really feel like I went into this confused.
Okay.
And that's the point of this.
Yes, to talk through it.
Exactly. And I'm glad you made me feel like...
I typically don't want to do like that much of a play-by-play, but like we didn't really have much of a choice with this one, just because there's so many things back to back to back to back to back.
I don't think it was a
that we had. It was like we had to talk through.
Yeah, I don't think it was a play-by-play, because the thing is, if we understood it and we were just reciting it, that'd be different. But I mean, literally, like we were like working through it. And I'm just glad that I don't feel stupid. I feel like there's like parts that you were trying to understand too. Like I feel like it was
Yeah,
like,
we had to talk through some things.
there was a lot, like there was just a lot in that group of...
Yes.
Goodness gracious. Like, I'm actually glad that I ended up missing that chapter that week, because could you imagine of all of a sudden just randomly discussing that last chapter when we did, like, remember?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And
like,
then stopping.
and stopping.
Yeah, this was a good
Lord.
mashup
Yes.
of things.
Yes. So, anyways, hope you all enjoyed. We did. My brain hurts. I'm like, oh, because I seriously was on this mission to figure out Golgoroth, but Golgoroth is not anywhere. It is not a real thing, and I was just trying so hard. But anyways, long story short, next week, chapters, we will be covering 39 through 41. Eric, that means read through 41. Stop at 42, Eric.
You're reading 3 chapters.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that now. Got to make sure I know. Anyways, it's been fantastic. Thanks for joining. I'm trying to think if there's anything going on Grishaverse wise, or no, we're still in this. If you know of anything, let us know, please. One thing that I do, maybe this will be kind of fun. In the next week, and I'm going to have Terry do it too, is actually think about what our salt spirit would be, and then this one, put this on like the back burner, because this will be for like when we finish the book. But I do want to also think, if we weren't in Lethe, what society will we be a part of? So that one is for later. But anyways, let me know if you know exactly what your salt spirit protector would be, because I have no clue, but I'm going to figure it out. So maybe even come up with one for Terry and Chris and all that.
And literally everyone.
Yes, everybody. It's going to be kosher salt, though. Got to use kosher salt. Okay. Well, it's been fantastic. Love you all. Long live the Grishaverse.
Like, we're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. A plus.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok at GrishaCast.
And thank you to our amazing staff, Chris, Michelle, Alex, Brett,